And we are on. So it's Shawn Shepheard here with Kyle Cochran, type 1 diabetic, American Ninja Warrior, all around nice guy. I met Kyle almost a year ago when you were up here in Canada with the Children with Diabetes conference, and now you're back in your home state of California. And I'm really jealous because it's kind of cold and snowy up here. But first of all, thank you for taking the time to share your message. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to say hello to everybody up here in Canada and maybe tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, totally. Thank you for inviting me to do this. It's good to see you again. Hi to everyone in Canada. I miss Canada a lot. I've been twice now, and it's been a blast every time I've been there. So I was diagnosed with type 1 when I was 5, and now I'm 25, so I guess I've had it 20 years now. I started on the insulin pump when I was about 16, and that made a huge change in my life. And diabetes has never been, for me, it's never been something to stop me from doing the things I want to do, but really I found it has been something to enable me to do everything that I want to do and the things that I would have never had the opportunity to do without diabetes. It's been a blast.
So were you always somebody that was active in sports? Because, the first time I saw you, actually my wife saw you first on TV, on national TV, on American Ninja Warrior, which we'll get to in a minute. But was sports something, a part of your life growing up?
Yeah, definitely. So the first sport that I played was soccer. I played that from probably since I was 5 until I played it all the way through high school. And then in high school, I also did basketball and football and soccer and track and wrestling. And that was mostly it for high school. And then after high school, I did skiing and motocross and paragliding and rock climbing and is that it? Gymnastics. I think that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I love to be active.
You pretty well hit every sport.
I try. Yeah. If I'm not active, I feel cramped and it needs to pull out of me for sure.
So tell us a little bit about American Ninja Warrior. So I've watched the show on TV, and if you haven't seen it, it's this absolutely crazy, physical challenge. And so maybe tell us a little bit about the show and how you got involved with it.
Yeah, so the show is dubbed the world's most difficult obstacle course. It's a blast. I used to watch it when it would air in Japan. And it ran there for, I think, 27 seasons. And then America said, we have to get that over here. And so they brought it over to America. First season, I wanted to go try out because it just looked like the most incredibly exciting jungle gym and challenge at the same time. And so I got ready to audition. And right before the audition date, I blew out my knee. So blew out my knee and was not able to compete. It was pretty devastating. But then the next year I recovered and got to audition and made it on the show. And it's just been a blast. The course is a lot harder than it looks on TV. Way harder. But the friends that I make on the show, everyone's amazing and fun. It's like hanging out with a bunch of monkeys when I'm hanging out with those guys. It's really, really exciting. I love training for it too.
So can you tell me a little bit about the training that you do for that event?
Yes. So training is pretty much every day. Each morning I'll do yoga in the morning, maybe 20 minutes if it's a short day or up to an hour if it's a longer one, just to kind of stay loose and prevent any injuries because the training is pretty high impact. And then usually pretty much every day of the week I go rock climbing. And that's been a big part of my training, especially this season. Last season, it wasn't as much, and I think that affected me in running the course. But this season, rock climbing has been kind of my everything in terms of training. I also incorporate full-body workouts after the rock climbing, usually 3 to 4 days a week. So the rock climbing will go for 2 hours, and then maybe an hour of the kind of full-body circuit training for the cardio aspect of it. I also do really, really strict diet that I follow that I've kind of made up over the years of studying nutrition and exercise and stuff. And so the combination of all that is, hopefully it's a winning combination.
So with that, with your diet and that pretty intense training, what are some of the challenges that you faced being on insulin and doing this high level of training?
Yeah, so it'd be fun to say that I don't run into any problems with diabetes in terms of the training, but that's just not always the case. It's every once in a while I'll run into, I'm starting to train and then I realize, oh, my blood sugar's low, and so now I have to wait, and that cuts into my training time and stuff like that. So it's been kind of an adventure in terms of trying to figure out exactly when to give myself insulin before these high intensity exercise programs, and when to eat and everything before that, during it. And it's something that I'm still figuring out the science of, as you kind of always do as you change in life. But it's been kind of fun to learn more about myself through this new type of training and learn more about the diabetes, get those fine tuning intact. Yeah.
So for some of us that maybe won't be on American Ninja Warrior, but we're definitely, health and fitness is very important, and there's a lot of people that are just starting fitness routines, being on insulin and living with type 1. Do you have any tips on how to get started around starting an exercise program?
Yeah, whether you're starting an exercise program on insulin right now or you've been doing it for years, what I'd really recommend is, especially at the beginning, to start like a log book, or maybe some of you have computer programs that do this, that keep track of, okay, I gave myself insulin here, my blood sugar was this level at this amount of time afterwards, I ate this. For me, it took keeping like a log that I could write out, and I just kept it for maybe about a month until I get the routine down and figured out, okay, this is the best combination time-wise for insulin plus food plus exercise, keeps my blood sugar level. So I definitely recommend doing that, as I would, having diabetes a long time becomes kind of routine, and so you can very easily forget, maybe you had a slightly high blood sugar, low blood sugar here, and it's just so routine sometimes that you just don't even think about it. And so you keep doing that same thing every day and not even really thinking, oh, I'm going low every day, I need to change something, So especially around exercise, find what range of blood glucose you're optimally performing in. For me, it's a little higher than my normal range that I like to keep throughout the day. And so I try to tweak down my insulin and sugar just to the right timing before I go work out. And keeping that logbook has made a huge difference, so I can see it and know, okay, this is what the trend is. This is how I can optimally perform.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I've heard that in lots of different areas of life of tracking, tracking where your money spent every day, tracking what you eat every day, tracking your exercise, and it sounds so simple, but many of us don't do it.
Yeah, totally. I was one person who wouldn't do it either. I thought, no, I don't want to waste my time and energy making a logbook. I'll just, I'm doing fine. And I don't even remember what it was that finally sparked me. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll try it for 1 month, this logbook, see if it makes a difference. And it made a huge impact on my diabetes in and out of training. And so it's totally something that I recommend you have to do if you're going to be an elite athlete.
Great. And I know that you mentioned briefly, and you were so kind to share with me last year of some of the eating tips that have really worked well for you. So is there one or two that you could share with us tonight?
Definitely. So if you are someone who, so I'd say, I guess most people would be in the category of we'd like to lose a little weight, whether it's a little or a lot. My biggest tip, this is what I use every season, about 2 months before the season starts, I'll start cutting weight so that I'm really light on the course. And I lose about 20 to 30 pounds in 2 months right before the show starts. So I really slim down. And the only thing that I change in that 2 to 3 months is the trick I use of water. And this is how I use it. in between each bite of food, you take a sip of water. So let's say I take a bite, then I just take a drink of water. And so you just repeat that all day. No matter what you're eating, between each bite, take a sip of water, and you'll be shocked at how much less you eat. Just shocked. Your stomach, you slow down first of all, so that the food has time to get to your stomach. Usually, at least for me, being an athlete, I kind of wolf food. If I'm not slowing myself down, it's just like, I'm not even finishing chewing before the next bite's going in. And so when I finally realize I'm full, I still have an esophagus full of food. So that's this many more calories than I need if I'm trying to cut weight. So sip of water in between slows you down. It also fills your stomach with the water, which is amazing for you in terms of, filling up on less calories and then flushing out toxins and things from your system if you're pushing hard trying to lose weight. So that is my big, huge weight loss secret. You have to try it if you're serious about losing weight. And it's not something that's extremely challenging. The other end, the second biggest tip that I would give is, okay, there are two more. Two more.
Sure.
One of them would be sugar. And obviously this isn't the first time you've heard this, limit the sugar. But a big difference that could be a little more specific is sugar after maybe 5 p.m., 5 or 6 p.m. I really, really limit the sugar I take in after 5 or 6 p.m. I don't even eat fruit after 5 or 6 p.m. because during the time that it's being processed in your body is usually when you're asleep. After 5 or 6 p.m., there's that window there, you hit the sack, and your body slows down big time in terms of what it needs to burn for energy, so that having that extra sugar in there is just going to get converted to fat because you don't need it as energy. Whereas during other parts of the day, you're moving around. Even minimal movement is better than sleep for burning off that sugar. So I'd recommend cutting out as much sugar as you can after 5 or 6 p.m. And then the third tip would be protein. Whether you're trying to bulk up or slim down or a guy or girl, you need to increase your protein intake. There's not one person I know who really meets their protein needs for the day. Your protein is involved in every one of your body's functions. And it's amazing how, especially people are saying, well, I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm not going to eat much protein. Protein is not going to be what's going to stop you from losing weight. Protein will enforce your body's functions that help give you energy so that you can go lose weight. Protein is involved in everything you need it. And people are so short on protein, and it's often causing them to put on more weight because their body can't function in the way it needs to be burning the fat off. Well, so those would be my 3 biggest tips, I guess.
3. We got an extra. We got a bonus one. 3. So thank you.
There you go. Yep.
So just before we finish, if people want to learn more about you or if they want to watch your journey, is there anywhere that we can kind of hang out and see what Kyle's up to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook. I know a lot of people are going to Instagram now, but I don't have one. I'm not tech savvy. But if you want to find me on Facebook, I'd love to make friends. I'm happy to talk anytime, give diet and exercise tips. So on Facebook, it's Kyle Cochran. Last name is Cochran. I don't know if there's a more specific way to find you on Facebook. Do you know of one?
I think that's pretty good.
When some people said that they were searching, they typed in Kyle Cochran 77, and I have no idea why, but for some reason they were able to find me better that way through the pool of Kyle Cochrans. So yeah, add me. I love making friends and meeting new people on there for sure.
Well, thank you very much for doing this. I really appreciate it. And to everybody that's watching, Kyle is not only a great guy and a great athlete. When I met you last year in Toronto, we'd seen you on TV. And when you meet people that you've seen on TV and you're kind of nervous about, oh my God, I hope they're actually nice. Well, that smile is genuine. So thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and the last thing I'll say too is if anybody's watching this that's starting an exercise program, do touch base and make an appointment with your health team and your doctor before going on to doing an exercise program. But yeah. Thanks for doing this, Colin. Great tips, and I know it's a lot warmer in California, so I'm a little jealous.
Great, thank you.
All right, have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.